Hi again everyone, welcome to this lesson for the sticking right, left, left, 3 ways. So the 3 ways I'm going to look at in this lesson are as quintuplets, which is basically just as the sticking is. Then we're going to move into 16th notes, and then we're going to move into triplets. There's a couple of extra little challenges that I'll set if you want to look into them, but also if you've already done this stuff, then maybe you don't even need this lesson. So first up, let's just do the sticking really slowly because you want to have it under your hands so when we start messing with the time, it stays nice and easy. So it doesn't get too boring just practicing that sticking over and over, feel free to move the right hand around the kit a little like this. You can move those right hands anywhere you want just to add a little bit of creativity and to stop you from getting bored. Okay, the next thing I'm going to look at is a fill that fits into 1 bar, but now we're playing that same sticking in 16th notes. This is what it will sound like. Because that fill is in 16th notes, there's 3 groups of 5 and that equals 15 notes, and there's 1 note left over. I'm just playing that with the right hand on the snare drum, and then that means coming out into the next bar, it's a crash cymbal with the left hand. Once you're happy with that sound and you can play that fill, once again, you can move the right hand or the left hand around any way you want and come up with your own fills. But the next challenge is to add the kick drum back in, playing a quarter note underneath those accents. As always, depending on whether you've done that kind of stuff or not, if you haven't, it could be quite a big challenge just getting those accents to stick out by themselves without following along with the kick drum. The trick I usually find is just to go really, really slowly and get used to it. Also line up the notes and see which accents are falling with a kick drum and which are falling without a kick drum. And then eventually, once you have the sound of it, you'll be able to speed it up. There's one more challenge while we're in 16th notes, and that is to just play a 16th note pattern and keep going and going and going, but to try and keep track of where you're up to in a bar of 4/4. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. I'll show you what I mean. For that type of exercise, using a metronome is a great idea because if you have the metronome giving you beat 1 of every bar, it'll help you to keep track of how many bars you've played and where you're up to in each bar. Try it for 4 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars, see if you can just keep track of where the pulse is underneath that strange pattern. All right, so that's the 16th notes pretty much wrapped up. The next one we're going to look at is triplets. For this fill, I'm playing 8th note triplets and it's going over 2 bars, so that's 24 notes in total, which means we're going to get through that group of 5 4 times to equal 20, and then there's 4 notes left over. I'll play the whole thing for you slowly so you can see how it all fits in. Once again, from there, we can use the same treatment as we did with the 16th notes. The next challenge being to add the kick drum playing quarter notes underneath. And then finally, you can take those same triplets and play them across the bar for 4 bars, 8 bars, or 16 bars and try and keep track of where you're up to. Some of those exercises are definitely challenging, and you might be asking yourself, why would I bother? I think with the exercise we just played, that's going to help your internal sense of time a bunch. Because if you can play that rhythm and still remember where you're up to in the bar and where you're up to over a number of bars, then you're always going to know where you're up to in the song and when you're playing with the band. The other thing is that putting those odd groupings over different groupings, so the group of 5 over the 4 groups of 16ths and the 3 groups of triplets, that will open your ears up to some different sounds that maybe you wouldn't naturally play. And so that's going to help your creativity, and then it's also going to filter into your fills and your solos and stuff as well. So I think there is definitely quite a few benefits to practicing this stuff, even though it is challenging at first. As always, just go slowly, figure it out, and then eventually you'll be able to speed it up, and then you'll be able to add it to your playing. So hopefully this has made enough sense. Hopefully it's something that's useful to you. Have fun practicing it, and I'll see you at the next lesson.